I apologize about the leave of absence. I've been busy with other stuff out of my control, so I'm going to try to hurry and quickly get this video out, or it's going to be out after the game is done. But welcome to the Alpha Podcast, and this is going to be strictly college football for this episode, because there's a lot of news in the world today. Let's start with the biggest. Oregon, all the teams that had a first-round bye got eliminated, and most of them got smoked. Am I shocked that Oregon lost? No. I really feel like that they could have won, but I'm not going to complain, specifically because Ryan Day is trying to keep his job, and that is why that if they win, it's going to be because Ryan Day played like Dan Campbell. He's aggressive, he's physical, he's doing everything he can to win a game and try to save his job at Ohio State. For the finals of the college football playoff, the game is either probably started by the time this is done, or it already happened when this goes up. But I'm picking Notre Dame to beat Penn State. I think it's going to be a close game, more people than they think, because Penn State's playing like they got nothing to lose, and they shouldn't be here. But they're dominating, and they're going to fight for every bit that they have to prove that they should be here. I think that if Penn State wins, it's going to be because they kept the ball out of Notre Dame's hands, just like how Notre Dame did the same thing to Georgia. I think it's going to be a 41-40 Notre Dame win after a couple overtimes. I think they're going to just play physical team, dominate, fight for everything that they can get, and the game's just going to be a close nail-biter. For the Ohio State versus Texas, I don't know what part of me would make me even think that Texas is going to win. The only physical way I can see them winning and pulling off maybe an upset is if they just play physical defense. Really just play like how Notre Dame did. Play physical. Don't let the running game for that Ohio State team take over. Force them to have to pass, play back, bring the pressure, make Will Howard's life a nightmare in that pocket. You force him to roll out the pocket and make decisions on the run, he's going to screw up. He is very vulnerable to making bad reads and bad decisions if pressure's in his face. And Michigan was able to beat him that way, and Oregon was able to beat him that way in the regular season. And for the finalists between the final way, but as I was saying, the final for that game, that one I'm feeling is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be 41-20. Ohio State wins after Jeremiah Smith masterclass, because who in the heck on that Texas defense is gonna stop him? Sure, they got Emeka Ibuka, but you can't stop a man who's literally playing out of his mind as a freshman. That is scary. He just basically treat him like he's Ryan Williams. Feed him the ball any way you can and let him do his magic, because bro's not going to get tackled within the first tackling. They have to do that if they're going to win. But I think that he's going to break tackles. He's going to make Texas stay on the field, drain the clock, and just hold them to being a nightmare. And for the final game between the Ohio State and Notre Dame Fighting Irish, that game's tough, because the last time that those teams played, Ohio State won with no time left on the clock. So that tells me that if Notre Dame had time on the clock, they could have scored, because they scored on that game on their drive to get the lead. So I'm willing to bet you money that in this game it's going to be whoever has the ball last will be the winner. I think it's going to be 4th and 7 at the 20-yard line. Ohio State's down by 7. They need a touchdown. Will Howard scrambles, runs, trying to get in. He gets stripped, and Notre Dame recovers. I think Notre Dame's going to win the national championship, because I've watched Riley Leonard and Will Howard. I see Will Howard playing out of his mind, and he's just dominating. Also, the jacket is Eastern Michigan. Side note about that. But the thing about it, I'm really confident with is I think that if Notre Dame is able to just limit that offense, do not give them the ball, leave them on that sideline, and make them have to hurry and feed and keep up. Because if Notre Dame is able to stall out that offense and just keep the ball in their hands, keeping the clock going, keeping it moving, making sure they don't touch it, or if they do touch it and they somehow score, they're not going to have much time to try to get another score. I think Notre Dame will win. The score actually will be a defensive matchup. I think it's going to be 27-20 with Notre Dame winning after Riley Leonard hands it off to Audric Estime for a touchdown. I believe in that team a little more. And with Riley Leonard playing just like a loose cannon against that Georgia defense, one of the best in the nation, he just played like he has nothing to lose. He's saying, "Fuck it, I'm playing, I'm dominating. I don't care if I get drafted or not. I'm gonna make myself a legacy. I'm gonna make myself a career." So I think Riley Leonard's gonna have a good chance to probably win this. I don't know if he's gonna be the reason. I'm willing to bet you money that if they do, it's gonna be because of him. But I think Notre Dame, all in all, has a chance to just take the national championship and bring it back to South Bend. Now, on transfer portal news, a lot of transfers has happened. The first one is I seen Dante Moore, I believe Dante Moore transferring again from Boise. I think he's either transferring from Boise and he's leaving, but Oregon's also losing a 5-star freshman to go into Cal. The Golden Bears got us a 5-star prospect from the portal, and he's a freshman. If he's able to play just kind of like how Jared Goff was able to, or in Aaron Rodgers, he might actually be another franchise guy. I've not seen his tape, but I don't think he's played that much. And another thing is Georgia's backup quarterback is entering the portal, who was from Arkansas State. Then, as the cherry on top of this for Georgia, their starting quarterback, Carson Beck, has decided to not go to the draft and leave to go to a new team in the transfer portal for his last year of eligibility. I don't know what team's going to pick him up. If it's a team that I think would make sense for him, I'm willing to bet you that if it's going to have to, I'm going to probably say it's going to be Notre Dame. Or Michigan, for that matter. But I think it's going to be Notre Dame. I could probably see USC, but Lincoln Riley's defense can't stop a fucking nosebleed. He ain't going fucking there. Maybe Utah. Utah could be a sneaky one because they have all the pieces. They have all the great players. They have everything that they could ever want. I just don't know if he's going to be able to go, if he wants to go to a team like that. Because the Big 12 is somewhat of a downgrade. But I'll be danged if the fights there ain't that hard. Because every team that's been there has fought. Arizona State won because of their best running back, who's probably going to get drafted because of that game. Because a lot of the players that I've gathered, they get drafted because a lot of running backs get drafted just because they have more tread on the tires. They're so fucking replaceable, and I don't understand why that's the case. I somewhat understand it because of injuries and stuff like that, but look at Saquon. Look at CMC when he's healthy. Freaking look at Derrick Henry. He's from the 2017 or something class, and he's in his 32nd season, and he's dominating. There's no way on this God's green earth that I don't believe that running backs should just be thrown away like that. Some guys have that 1 year, but they never get another chance. Or they're just never given that chance. James Robinson, one of my favorite players, the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to fucking trade him, and he has not played a single snap since that moment. And that's what infuriates me. He was a great running back. He was the only bright spot on a fucking bad Jags team that took Trevor Lawrence. And look at them now. They're worse. They gotten worse with Trevor Lawrence. And from what I heard, Doug Peterson's fired. Oh, and you brought him in because you think he can fix the team. This is a little bit more about this is more about another rant than a thing, but this is justifiable rant coming from a Jags fan and a Bengals fan for that fucking matter. I don't understand what Chad Kahn is thinking. I understand, I believe the GM. I think he's been okay. He's gotten some decent draft picks. I mean, Tyson Campbell, if he's able to put his stuff together, he's a good corner. I like him. Andre Sisco's playing phenomenal. Devin Lloyd doing good. Bringing in Jose Oluokun, has been playing good. They've brought in Brian Thomas Jr., been phenomenal, and he's been helping that Jags team. And they brought in Anton Harrison, who's still a rookie, but he has time to develop. I think he's going to be a good player. It's just like you take God like a lot of people blame the coaching for some of the issues. It's not just the coaching; it's the roster. Look at the Texans when Lovie Smith was there, and he had only 2 wins and stuff, and he got them the second overall pick. Yet look at Brian Flores. He squeaked 5 wins out of a team that had only one bright spot, and that was Xavier Howard. And Christian Wilkins, for that matter. That was it. The rest of the team was so fucking bad. It was blasphemy how they managed to get 5 wins. And people even today still say that he was the reason. Chris Greer was him and Chris Greer just never got along. Look at what happened since you got rid of him. You've not made the playoffs. Sure, Mike McDaniel's a good head coach. You're about to lose Tyreek Hill and a lot of that team because you got rid of a head coach who wanted to be there, who wanted to train for the team. And another thing with the Bengals, what the happened to the defense? You had a lot of my favorite players on that defense. Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, Cam Taylor-Britt's playing phenomenal, and he's a great player. I'm hoping he gets more time. But Steve Spagnuolo, what the heck happened? You've just been struggling. You have not done anything. And that's what annoys me. You have a prime opportunity to take your steps, to fix the team, to get back to the playoffs, to try to win, and just hold him. Yet you barely missed the playoffs because of the defense. That's what fucking held you back. The defense. They have the 17th overall pick. If they do not take a motherfucking pass rusher or cornerback or even a receiver, we got some beef. Because you're about to lose Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and a lot of those players, and Trey Hendrickson, because you don't want to pay them fucking money. Mike Brown, this is why the Bengals will never win a fucking Super Bowl, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're being too fucking cheap because you think that, we can save money. You're just like the former owner of the Bucks. You don't want to spend money. You don't want to give players the money to prove themselves their worth. Yet you pay Joe Burrow, and he's been freaking shot by fire by fucking his O-line. Okay, the rant's done. Now back to college. Northern Illinois is jumping from the MAC conference into the Mountain West. My thought on it, they have not been good in the last few years. So I don't understand why they would do this. Maybe to get themselves a better chance to get exposure. But the Mountain West is not a good conference. You're losing. You lost Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Boise State, and you replace them with Northern Illinois. I don't like the decisions some of these realignments and stuff has been happening. I'm glad there's still a few loyal teams in there, quote unquote. I'm just more worried of what's going to happen, man. I'll worry about that another time. Player spotlight. I'm gonna, whatever. There is a player from the USC team, from that USC team that I actually really like. I don't know if he's plans on getting drafted this year or next year, but the guy's name is Bear Alexander. I don't know if he's going to be a first-round draft pick, but if he is, you're getting somebody who's physical. I love his stats. He's a pure rusher. He's somebody who's able to read the run, defend the pass, rush the quarterback, make every interior offensive lineman have to basically double-team him just to get them to stop him from hurting the quarterback. And for offensively, there is a player from I can't think of the college. I'm blanking on it. Oh, Syracuse. I think there was a Syracuse tight end. He's second. I don't remember. I do not remember his name. I know he wears like number 12 or something like that for the orange. He looks like an insane tight end, and I hope that if some teams that take him, they need a tight end. There's a few teams I think that need a tight end, but they're probably not going to fucking take one. You could probably argue the Jags could probably need one. Panthers could probably need one. Patriots could probably need one. Commanders could need one. Colts could. Not the Cardinals. Rams could be a team that needs a tight end. There's like a few guys that I think would fit for this guy. I don't remember his name, but I'm certain if somebody tells me it, I don't remember it. But this was more of a rant, but it was kind of me pitching my ideas and why I really feel like that both of my favorite teams are not going to break through the barrier and win a championship or a Super Bowl. Bengals are never going to get it with the owner being the way he is. He's too cheap. He's just everything. He's just really just cheap. The Jaguars head coach, the Jaguars owner, I have no issues with him. He knows that pay the money when he needs to pay the money. But the problem is they don't bring in talent. They're a small market, and they don't want to bring in anybody to come to Jacksonville to be a starter there. The Patriots, I think, is another sneaky team that's going to probably do well. Drake May coming off a pretty solid rookie year with next to no weapons, and I think they got the second or third overall pick. So all they got to do is take like Travis Hunter or offensive lineman from LSU, and they can literally just go off from there. Because I think that they got a great chance to just fix that team in this draft. They're not going to do it with everybody, but I think there's going to be a few guys that's going to help fix some of the issues. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on what do you think about the college football playoff and these NFL playoffs, because the next video I will be talking about those. It'll be probably tomorrow it'll probably be tomorrow when I do that next one, or the day after, so that I can get all the news gathered, see if there's anything changed, and be ready for the NFL playoffs. Because my predictions for those would be a little shocking, but a lot of them will be reasonable with explanations. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me anything you want me to talk about in the comments down below. I got a few other ideas, and when I eventually get to them, I'm going to start talking about hockey. College basketball is coming up soon, which is one of my favorite things to watch, because I'm a big Xavier fan for that. I'll explain that again more probably in the next video, since I'll be talking about football and basketball for that matter. So for right now, I'll see you guys later. Peace.